Everyone's heard that happiness comes from the inside. So when you feel good, then everything else kind of works with you. And so I thought that if I could get as many people I could to feel good, then it would be a better atmosphere all around and positive energy. When you have this freedom to educate yourself about this and in turn educate others, it definitely has an impact on the whole atmosphere of the classroom. A lot of it didn't feel like work because I'm genuinely interested in it, and I think that's the beauty of this project, because we got to choose the one thing that helps it not feel like, you know, we have to match this deadline, we have to do this, we have to do that, but we want to do this a lot of the time. Hi, I'm Milena Karpukhina, and this is the FitX Mila project.
All right, everyone, drop and give me 20.
See that? There's a complete lack of motivation. That, or you don't want to feel foolish doing push-ups in the middle of a TED Talk. But nonetheless, imagine that was the voice inside of your head. Would you still be ignoring it? At the beginning of this project, I had a goal, and that was that at the end, I would be able to show that I'd really achieved something. And sounds pretty easy, right? It wasn't. We all know that we had these set deadlines and requirements for interviews and blog posts and mentor text summaries. The list goes on. And they were all to be based on our issue of choice, mine being the importance of healthy, wholesome, mindful living. So I thought, how could I make this into a tangible product that I would be able to show at the end? And so I made a website. My own website where I'd post healthy recipes and workout sequences and just articles about thoughts that I thought needed to be shared. And you know, the ideas would come to me organically, and I could really make it my own and personalize it. All right, so the website was up, but for it to be of any use, I needed an audience. And as would anyone these days wanting to get the word out about something, I took to Instagram. I made a page where I would kind of advertise and promote, you know, updates on what was going on in the website and just my everyday health experiences. And, you know, luckily enough, interest grew, and over the course of a couple of months, it gained almost 700 followers. So that was so it was becoming global, and that was great, and I felt great about it becoming global. There were people from across the country to across the world, and we were all interested in this one thing. We'd communicate about and discuss things on the site and articles, but then I wanted to bring it in and really get the community involved. So I planned a wellness workshop. After school on Wednesday, we went down the road to Church Square Park, and we were blasting music and stretching together, working out, and we ended it all with some delicious snacks. Actually, I have these sequences that we followed that you can pass around. They're in groups of 4, so if anyone wants to. Okay. So at the end of the day, the one thing that this all took was a great deal of motivation. And I think that when we're younger, we were conditioned to have this motivation, to have this drive, to better ourselves for the greater good. And that started off with cleaning your room and brushing your teeth, being a good kid because you knew Santa was watching. And that carried on to, you know, writing a nice paper to get a good grade, and studying nights before a test to be ready to ace it. However, on the other hand, if you were to, you know, leave your Legos lying around and not put them in their box, you may as well count yourself on the naughty list. Just like now, if you don't prioritize the right things at the right time, the only thing you're going to be left with is regret. That regret will then later carry on into anxiousness as you scramble to get requirements in and get your jobs done. Or not, of course. There was also the choice of giving up. But that was something I refused to do. just like in the race, oh, actually, all right, so this TED Talk was something of a finish line for me. And I had that in mind. Just like in April when I ran the first race of my life, the Lincoln Tunnel Challenge 5K, all the runners had the finish line in mind as we were sweating our way through the tunnel. And in this instance, it's the TED Talk. You know that injured person's bus that takes people back if they can't finish the race on time, right? Or if they're injured, or, right? Okay, well that was me. Or it could have been, almost. As I could almost see that finish line, the injured person's truck was creeping its way up behind me, and for a second I thought, yeah, okay, I mean, I've gotten this far, I may as well give up now. But in reality, this far is never enough. The worst thing in the world that will end all productivity is complacency, and quite frankly, if you're happy to just give up halfway and let that injured person's truck take you, there was no point in starting at all. Unless you're injured, of course, please, that was just a metaphor. But we really need to get ourselves out of this mindset that you either succeed or you don't, that you win or you lose, period. We all know that life has its ups and downs. It's like a heartbeat, but through each one of these ups and downs, there's a process and a deciding factor as to whether this down has to be a failure, or if we have to, you know, just let it be. Whereas we could, you know, work ourselves out of that rut and compromise somehow. I'd like to end this with a quote by Walt Disney. He says, "If you can dream it, you can do it." But I don't think that's enough. I think that if you can dream it, you can do it. The trick is mustering up the courage and motivation to get there. Are there any questions? Questions? No questions. Oh, okay. Hi. Yes, Ms. McAlevey.
You did the thing in the park, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so were there any success stories out of that for people? How you had helped them with something?
It was really great. There was more than 20 people that came, including Hudson kids, Mr. Baker, Miss Mosley, Miss Newman, and a bunch of kids and children from the park that evening. And a lot of people really enjoyed it. It was really nice to have people come up to me afterwards and be like, oh yes, I'll definitely check out your site, I'll definitely get involved. If you're doing one of these again, I would love to come, please make another one of these. That was really nice. I actually remember the best feeling of that evening was when I shouted, "Can everyone feel it?" as we were doing these crunches, and everyone was like, "Ow, yeah!" So yeah. Aria?
Okay, 2 questions. What's the name of your blog and your Instagram?
The website is www.fitxmila.com, and the Instagram is just @fitxmila.
Okay, cool. Second question. How did you get 700 followers so quickly?
Oh, they're on the bottom of the little pamphlet, and honestly, you just go to, this is kind of Ron's philosophy, so you just go onto people's things that they've already created and be like, wow, I really love this. You don't have to say, check out my thing, but if you give them the attention that they feel like they deserve, that they earned, then they'll return it back to you. Yeah. Oh, yes, Ms. Dyson.
Milena, I'm wondering, because I know you're interested in this a lot, do you feel like from what you've learned and from the interviews you conducted and stuff, that you could or would down the road want to continue to pursue this in terms of business? I know originally when we first started, it was an idea that you were talking about.
I know that I'm always going to have this with me, but it's because, I don't know, I feel like I'm torn between 2 things, which is like the performing aspect and then this thing. But I'm always going to have this, and I'm always going to pursue it. I'm taking the class next year with the health, so we'll see. We'll see. I am going to keep it for now. Ron?
So you had like a lot of people who check your blog. So are you going to continue with this?
I'd like to say so, yeah. Yeah. that it? Oh, yes?
Well, so where do you get all your healthy food ideas? Are these things that you figure out? Did you get from other sources?
Well, sometimes I'll look through some recipes that people have already made and be like, okay, that's fine, but I think this could be better, so I kind of just play around with it, and if it works out, then that's great, and that's what I use. So, yeah. Yeah. Okay, thank you.